Good morning, everybody. How you doing out there in the internet world? We are live here, starting the CVR World Cup League Spring Series, race number 8 for Zone C. This is the last race of the season for Zone C, and we'll be wrapping up and getting the winners today. We are doing 7 laps of the London Classique course, so this is going to be a flat race. This is a sprinter's delight. If you can hold on to the end and you've got a good kick, you've got a good shot at a win here today. So these guys are lining up here. The men are rolling out here in 2 minutes. The ladies roll out in about 4 minutes. We'll try to keep an eye on both races today. Your winner for the season is pretty well locked down. Justin Wagner has taken those honors, I believe. Based on my calculations, I believe he has locked those points down. If you want to follow along with your own favorite racer and keep an eye on them, if they are streaming over at CVR World Cup, the cycleview.cvrworldcup.com site or cycleview.tv, you can go check them out yourself, and here's a little sample of what you will see over there. You can see here we've got myself, Pat O'Neill, Cameron Moss, Scott Urista, Sadeo Akibe, and Justin Wagner over there streaming. So you can watch things over there as they get heated up here as we go. 50 seconds to go, and we'll be rolling out. So we'll be watching the chat over at Facebook, Mixer, as well as CycleView. If you have anything to share with us, feel free to type in over there. We're going to watch these guys get out of the gate. We're going to bounce around from the men to the women a little bit today. And we will watch a little bit of those first-person views coming in from the CycleView website as well. So here we go. When the gate drops, they will be a full-on sprint out of the gate here for the men, chasing one another. So as soon as the gate drops here, we'll grab a rider, and off they go. And Stebbins is going to lead them out of the pen super hard. No heart rate on Stebbins, but that's all right. He's going to jump out right out there to begin with. Kibe likes to have that hard start as well. and he is going hard, looking over his shoulder, hammering. I should not have any mic issues, at least from what I can see. I have a good mic. So let me know if you cannot hear me on any of the other apps. I'll even listen to myself for a second if we need to here. We should have good audio, but we're going to check it here real quick. Somebody's commenting that my mic may be off, so we want to make sure that that is not true. We should have good audio. Yeah, I've got it there, so I think we're good. So here we are, out of the pin for the men. Sadeo Akibe leading out the pack. Nice big pack strung out behind him here. You see a lot of ODZ jerseys in there, as they have been a mainstay in this Zone C. This is the time of day that they like to ride. And we are strung out here. Looks like Wang's the first guy off the back in 38th place, so we've got a nice big group here. Ladies are getting ready to roll out, so let's jump over and check that out. So if we switch over, you can see the ladies pin here rolls out 9, 8, 7. Let's dive into them and see how they go. We have got, looks like Golgout, Guinness, Reese, Bing, Cashmore here. I believe Claudia has locked down the A points today, and doesn't look like she's made it to the race today. So Terry Cashmore is leading him out of the pin strong. Golgout right on her tail. Bing, which is not a name I recognize that's frequent in this race. It looks like she's jumping in, which is perfectly fine. We welcome all the racers to join in, even if you are not in the league. Come race and have some fun. You just will not get race points if you are not in the league. So it looks like they're going to roll out together here. All 4 of them in a group with Genus just a little bit off the back. And they're going to roll into this flat race as well. So we'll get a little side by side. We can watch the action on both sides of this while I go see who do we have streaming and who can we keep an eye on today. It looks like our streaming, a few of our regulars are not streaming today. Some of them may not be racing today. If you're racing the league, it's a best 6 of 8. So a lot of times people are not streaming or racing every single week, but quite often they will. Trying to keep all of my things up to date here, guys. So over here, there we go. Trying to get that Facebook feed up as well, which we do have now. So we have got the Facebook feed open. We've got all the chats open. So thanks everybody for joining in, and here we go. Men's race is got a nice pack forming here. We can go over to our cycle view information here. We can watch riders like Cameron Moss, Justin Wagner. Justin has won just about every race I believe he has entered this season in the league. You can see here Cameron Moss, nice good stream quality, riding in the front of this pack. Heart rate 167, working hard. You can tell Cameron must have himself a smart trainer going on there. You see a wheel sitting in the background there. He's got the wheel off the bike to ride on the trainer, or that's just a spare wheel. Got the ceiling fan going strong and racing hard. We've got Justin here working as well. Looks like Justin does not have his sling on today. Justin fell and broke his arm and his shoulder and his elbow in a cycling accident about 2 weeks ago, I think, maybe 3 weeks ago. So Justin's been a little bit slowed down a little bit to riding outside. You can see him holding that arm a little gingerly there. So they are getting ready to attack up into the Trafalgar Square here. So we're going to watch Justin's feed when that attack happens, as it looks like they are already up there. So we're going to watch from Justin's point of view as they attack up into that hill. Thanks guys for joining us over at Facebook. I see a few of you jumping in there and watching. We appreciate it. And those at Mixer as well. I am watching comments. I can chit chat a little bit and see how that goes. Looks like Justin is climbing hard up here. Looks like there's a few guys on the front pushing the pace a little bit. You can see Boyko, some orange numbers up front, getting strung out a little bit here. But I think this will come back together, and you can see Justin still going hard. You can see his avatar in the race, bent over, really sprinting out of the saddle. That is a animation that they do in the game when you get to working really hard over a certain level. It will jump you out of the saddle and push you really hard up toward the front. So looks like Justin has caught that front pack, so we'll jump back in to see what that men's pack looks like now. And here we go from a first person perspective back into that men's pack. And you can see we have still got a very large group together. Remember, this is 7 laps of the Classique course. The Classique course is a very flat race. We are up onto the flat section of the race now. That little climb that they just did gets you up into the circuit, and now they're going to do 7 full laps now that they're up in the circuit. There is one small climb on the circuit. You can put a little bit of pain into people, but it typically is not a deciding factor in breaking off people that are going to have the legs to do a big sprint at the end. Typically, if you have that big sprint, you're able to hold on through those climbs as well. It's not a significant enough climb typically to break it apart and be a huge factor, but it's definitely a point of bother every lap in the race, and definitely a place where you can break some people off that might be struggling a little bit at the back of the pack, or maybe catch them sleeping a little bit if they get a little too comfortable in the pack. They're going to slide back here a little bit. We're going to check these guys that are a few seconds back, and here we go. I was going to check what place these guys are in. 34th place is off the back, so we should have 33 riders in this group. Still a very large group up at the front of the men's race, and here they go through this banner on the red road. This will be the start finish line, and when they roll under this banner, it will be 7 laps from here to the finish. So these guys got a little bit of racing to do, and are going to continue to make circuits. Jumping over to the ladies race real quick, they are climbing up into that same climb now. They're about 2 minutes behind, rolling up into Trafalgar Square, and we have Reese, Gokalp, Kashmir, and Bing riding together. Heart rates here, we've got Reese at 164, Kashmir at 145, Gokalp at 169, and Bing at 148. So looks like a pack of 4 ladies are going to make it up into Trafalgar Square here. They're going to make the right turn, and they're also going to be on this flat course for the same distance, 7 laps. Primarily a bunch race here. They're going to be chasing one another. We'll see if anybody's got the guts to try to make something happen off the front today. Not sure if anybody will have the legs or the desire to do it. These races can get really long if you get off the front. I did a little race last night. Got messing around about this point in the race, just the beginning of lap 1, and I found myself off the front, and I raced, I think, 6 laps off the front of the race by about a minute, and I quit. It was too boring. I didn't have the desire, and it was getting late at night, and I did not finish the race. I had 2 laps to go and just had no desire to keep pushing myself off the front of the race. So I had sat up and let the pack catch me and cooled off and called it quits. So it is tough at this point. You want to do an effort to maybe hurt some people in the pack, but it's awful early in the race to try to actually get away from anybody. So ladies are all together now. We're going to go back and check out the men's race here. And let's look at some of the tools that we have. Sorry, I'm flipping screens a little bit too fast here. And checking out some of the tools we've got on the right hand side of the screen are the 2 main views that I bring you from my own perspective. And you can see here in the men's group, actually. Let's slide up toward the front. We're going to dig into this. We got something going on here. And we don't want to miss this, just trying to show off all these fancy tools and streams, because we have got guys sprinting off the front. Here we go. In the men's race, Yang, Night Train, McQuaid, Akibe, Jenner. These guys are working hard. There is a gap here behind Jenner. Jenner's coming across the gap. We've got orange numbers coming behind him. Looks like Tex Divine is up here. Akibe. Guys, this is definitely a move. This is a move that is going to break somebody at the back of this pack, I believe. We've got another one coming across the gap, and he is not bringing anybody with him. This is how you bridge a gap. There is not a draft behind him to Tex Divine. Tex Divine coming across here as well. Now, this is where these teammates have got to be careful here. Justin Wagner has made it across this gap, but they're starting to pull a few guys with him. There's a big group of Team ODZ across this gap. You want to make sure that you're not helping anybody else get across this gap. So it looks like we have kind of come together here. We've got some guys catching with some orange numbers. Let's look behind. How strung out is it? It's pretty strung out still. But I don't know that we had any casualties out of that little attack. It got a little spicy there for a minute. Let's roll back here. Looks like Wu has called it a day over there with that Z next to his name. I think he is a Zwift employee, maybe. Pardon me drinking my morning coffee here. Early in the morning for me, just getting out of bed. Got to get that coffee in me. Get me wound up for the day. Get me excited for the racing. It's been fun bringing the Zone C races to you guys all season long. This will be the end of the season today. We will crown a winner today for the A Zone, and that person will receive an invitation to Vancouver's live event for June 23rd, 24th coming up, and we will start postseason in, I believe, 2 weeks. Postseason will be through the month of July. We're going to do postseason. I'm sorry, the month of June. We will do the postseason races, and those are always fun because it's head-to-head races. Bring all your friends, bring all your teammates, and work together. And here we had this little hill. That was the hill on the course. There was a little bit of push at the front. Looking back over the shoulder of the people at the front, though, you can see where this is a big, long chain of riders. Looks like there might be one rider dangling way off the back there, but for the most part, this is an unbroken chain. That chain should tighten back up here and pull everybody back into the group. As long as they are staying attentive at the back of this group, they should drift right back up toward the front here. This is a little bit of a dangerous gap here. Cooley, Akibe, there's a little bit of a non-drafting gap in there, but it looks like they're working hard here to pull it together. So I think they're still going to accordion up here from the back to the front. Got some cheers coming out from Board Pilot. Go McQuaid, go Team Draft. So Board Pilot out there supporting Team Draft. We appreciate those comments. Anybody's got any questions over at Facebook or Mixer, please shoot them over. We appreciate those comments over there. We appreciate the encouragement that you get. We do find that this is pretty cool ourselves, but a lot of us are bike racers ourselves and bike enthusiasts, so we are especially drawn to this. But even if you are not a bike racer, this is pretty cool. Both the technology that goes along with it and the just the sports and the ability to see these first-person views here. You can see we've got Justin on the left cranking away. Remember Justin with that broken arm, he's hanging that arm there. If I remember correctly, and I'll have to verify this with Justin, but I think he may be scheduled for surgery in the next couple of days to have some repair work done on that arm. So appreciate Justin coming out and racing today. I don't believe Justin had to race today. He had already locked up the win in the series, I believe. So appreciate Justin coming out and racing even though he didn't need to. But as we all have, if you've been around Justin at all through the Zwift platform, we know Justin is here as a racer and a rider, and he's always going to give it his all and not going to sit a week out. So we appreciate that, Justin, and hope you get healed up well here very, very soon. Sadeo has got a little bit of pixelation on his screen today. Oh, there we got a better picture of him. Sadeo was made famous in our LA race. Had that nice side-to-side rocking motion. He gets home racing, and he doesn't have quite as much of that side-to-side racing. Guys, we got a little kick off the front here, so let's We'll come back and talk to Sadeo here in a few minutes, but we got some kicking up at the front, and we're gonna get up the front here and look to see who's doing this. And here we go, team draft. Mr. McQuaid off the front with Evil, the real deal, stringing out the front of this pack, making the guys chase him. Pushing. I'm glad this is a flat race today, and these guys are not gonna let it be an idle race. Just an update on the ladies. We do have 4 ladies still together at the front of the race. They've not attacked one another. They've held it together pretty well. It looks like they're just getting ready to come into that climbing section of the course, that short little climb. And we'll keep an eye on them for any sort of moves as well. So it looks like these guys are still pushing a little bit at the front, and they are getting a little bit strung out. We're coming up to this left-hand turn. If you watch their speed coming around this turn, and I'll stay fixed on one rider, the speed is going to drop to 20 miles an hour as he makes the left-hand turn here. This is the only corner that I know of on anywhere on any of the Zwift maps that it will slow you down for this corner. Only in this direction, it'll slow you to 20 miles an hour. You can attack out of this corner and accelerate and break a group if you know how to use that corner appropriately. This game is Zwift, for those of you asking, ZWIFT. You can go to Zwift.com. And that is the platform that we are playing on here, and that is the platform that the CVR World Cup League is placed on. So we are watching the CVR World Cup League Zone C race. There are races every 3 hours throughout the day today. If you are watching us at one of the CVR World Cup streaming locations, you can watch every 3 hours throughout the day today to see races like this all throughout the day. Every race is a little bit different because there's different people. Every person on a bike, or every avatar you see on the screen, is a person on the bike. As we've shown you briefly throughout this race today, and here we'll show it to you again. Sadeo Akibe here on the left-hand side of your screen is riding a real bike inside his home in Japan. He is actually riding rollers. Sadeo joined us for the live event in LA a few months ago and did excellent out there. Definitely showed that he was worthy of that invite. And Sadeo has been a consistent competitor in the Zone C, and he is a really good shot at second place in the Zone C Category A rankings for the end of the season here. So if Sadeo holds down that spot, he will go on to the postseason and has an opportunity to win that postseason and earn an invitation to the 3rd live event in 2018 at CVR World Cup, which will be coming up sometime later in the year. So you can see Sadeo here working hard. And remember, if you want to see these first-person views of riders and select your own, you can go to cycleview.tv and get this screen up that I have on the left-hand side of the screen. You can choose 1, 2, or 4 screens. You can choose pop-up windows. You can pick the riders that you want to watch. We've watched Sadeo. We've watched Justin. We had Cameron Moss. We've got Pat O'Neill here. We have Scott Arista. So we can open up those guys here, and you can see here we got Pat O'Neill, known as, I believe, the Night Train. Yes, racing here. Pat has a nice message on here to the riders, and we'll use that as a way to call that out. You can go here and you can cheer. So if you go over to the CycleView app, I can click cheer on Pat's name. I can send Pat $1 and send him a cheer, send him a message and cheer for him. So there's an opportunity to go over there and cheer for your favorite rider. If they've set up the cheering, you can go click that button and do a cheer. You can see here behind Pat, some of our guys are having a little bit of fun. And let's dive in. Hold on, we'll come back to Pat here in a second. We are going up the hill again for the men, and I see some orange numbers, and that's a cue to say quit talking and go back over and watch the racing. Got some orange numbers kicking at the front. It doesn't look like anybody's getting away here, but it looks like Kalim here has pushed a little bit at the front of the pack, but the men have pretty much stayed together here, and we are coming up to finish, it looks like, lap 2 of 7. So up, they are kicking, and off they go. So back to Pat O'Neill here. You can see in the background of Pat, some of these riders have been having a little fun with the technology. They've got the green screens going. Pat's got some flying toasters and some toast going in the background of his. I know we've had a little bit of fun with this, so guys, come over and check out everybody's creativeness. You can see that they've placed some of their own advertisements and team information around on the screens here. Here we've got Scott. Scott has always been great. He's putting the race information there, London Classic, the distance, the number of laps, the elevation. Scott is one of our D racers, and he is always here consistently streaming for us. We appreciate that, Scott. He is doing excellent within his group as well. We'll drop over and check in on the ladies race here quick, guys. Let's see how the ladies are doing. Looks like we still have a group of 4 together here. Got Terry Cashmore on the front doing a lot of work. Bing, Gokalp, Cashmore, and Reese all together here still in the ladies race. They are 7.7 miles in, just about half a lap behind the men at the moment, I believe. So they seem to be holding together and holding together tightly. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time over on the ladies race with just 4 of them riding. They seem to be staying together. I will keep you updated lap to lap how they're doing, and definitely jump over there as soon as we see any action heating up in the ladies race. We don't have any ladies live streaming today, so we don't have any first person video of them in the race today. As far as the men go, here we go. Coming up to complete lap 2. Still a big group here together. We'll drop back here and see if we can get an idea of how many men are left in this front group. I don't think we've dropped a lot. This rider is 31st out of 60, so that would mean that we should have 30 riders still in this front group and pushing hard at the front. Explain this is a question over at Mixer. Pretty general comment, but I'll try to explain this the best that I can in pretty basic terms. We are watching a group of riders racing one another on a platform called Zwift, ZWIFT. Every avatar that you see is a real person somewhere in the world riding some sort of device, whether it's a power meter or a smart trainer that broadcasts their power to the game. They are competing against one another in a virtual race by putting out real effort. These are not controllers in their hands, these are people sitting on bikes. To illustrate to you what this may look like, we have some opportunity to show you some first-person views of people here. Justin is a good example of that. Justin actually has a broken arm, so you see him sitting up here a lot. I believe it's his left arm is broken here, so he's holding that a little bit odd. But every one of these guys in this pack is similar to Justin here, riding a bike, sweating, elevated heart rates, working hard. So the league that we're doing is put on through CVR World Cup. CVR World Cup is a company on the leading edge of putting sport into esport. So they are working to build these leagues and do live events, offering great cash prizes and opportunities to go participate in real life in events like this, to show that they and to win cool prizes as well. So CVR World Cup is the company behind the league and the people putting all of that together for us here. So if you want to check out more about the league, you can go to cvrworldcup.com. You can get registered for the league over there. You can check it out. These guys are pushing a little hard up toward the front, so I'm going to slide up here. But that's kind of the basics. So Zwift is the game. The people are real. The efforts are real. The suffering is real. CVR World Cup has the vision to put it together into a esports league where we have got an 8-week league that the winners get a chance to go participate in a live event. I got the opportunity to do that in LA just a few months ago. Participated, got 3rd place in the live event in LA. We have a whole different kind of group of riders digging into it this round, so I think we're going to see a lot of different folks in the live event this time. Not going to be a lot of overlap, I think, from the last race to this one, so it's great to see more and more people get on here and different people getting an opportunity to do this. We see some kicking here in the pack. Somebody is jumping up toward the front. Veal is gonna try to get off the front here and get some real deal racing going on. Ed Veal digging at the front. Boyko grabs his wheel. Boyko's just gonna sit on that wheel. So hopefully, Drinker, that kind of answered the general questions there. If you want to check out the game itself, go to Zwift.com. Got a lot of information over there on how to get set up, how to get registered, and to dive into the game. CVRWorldCup.com has a ton of information about the league. You can go find at the CycleView app over at CVRWorldCup.com. You can watch the first-person videos yourself of everybody that's streaming here for the race. They've offered training programs, a lot of different things over time. The technology is pretty awesome. We're very fortunate to be able to put the different pieces together that have been developed here into a fantastic league. And here we go, McQuaid pushing off the front. Now, guys, this is a critical moment in the race. This is a good push here. I'm going to say that this is going to hurt somebody pretty bad because these guys have made it really hard for about 30 seconds going into the hill. So McQuaid is coming into this hill, which is normally a point in the race where you try to break some guys if you want to break people off the back. And what they've done is they've extended this hill effort. They now have made people go really deep and really hard for about 30 or 40 seconds before the hill. So anybody that was just barely getting over that hill, it's like they're working and can just barely get over the hill. Now they're hitting the bottom of that hill already exhausted. And this is where you can really break somebody. So the timing of this one is critical. And you can see these guys come up the hill and they're not letting up. Heath hammered hard and went to the front there. McQuaid's going to fight to get on his wheel. We've got 5-second gap now, guys. This is trouble. This is not a small or a weak group of riders off the front. And you notice that Justin Wagner is off the front here, and I'm counting 4, 5, 6 ODZ jerseys in this chase group. ODZ will not chase back their own teammate. These guys have a lot of respect for one another. They race as a team. They know that Justin is up the road, and they are not going to do anything to go get Justin. Justin has earned the right to win this league. He's in first place, and his team is going to show him that respect and say, Justin, if you're in that front pack, you go, you take the honors today, and we'll stay back here and we'll race it out amongst these guys. So this is an awesome little kick here. We are on lap, based on for the question over there at Facebook, we are finishing up lap 3 of 7. This is 7 laps of the Classique course. These guys are definitely athletes. A lot of the guys up at the front of this pack, Justin Wagner, for example, one of the ones that we've talked about a few times here. Justin races in the United States, I believe, as a Cat 2 racer, maybe a Cat 3 racer, but basically there are 5 levels of USA Cycling categories in outdoor racing, 1 through 5, 5 being the starting level up to a Cat 1, which is basically semi-pro or getting up into that pro elite, super elite level. Justin is racing in races with the Cat 1-2 riders and competing very well with them. I know when he had his broken arm, I think he was running in the top 5 of a multiple stage race out in Washington or Utah. So yeah, definitely athletes here, guys. These the guys at the front of this pack are for sure high class, high level cyclists, but don't let that scare you away. It doesn't take that long. With a little bit of hard work and effort, you could be at that level as well. You can see here, guys, it looks like they're pulling it back together. They're getting a few guys at the front of this pack. They've made the connection now. So we now have what I would call a lead pack back together as opposed to a breakaway. We still have 4 racers together in the ladies race too, guys, for those of you curious for an update on the ladies race. But you can see here now, look at this gap behind now. We are on the 21st racer, who is the very last racer in the front group. You see on the right hand side of the screen, there is a time gap behind. We have a group of riders now here that I just jumped back to. They're about 30 seconds back. These were the victims of that attack. So we have 6 riders here that were thrown out the back as victims of that last attack. So these guys are going to be kind of teaming up here and just holding their own a little bit off the back for the rest of the race. They are no longer in this front group. part of being in the one of the questions is regarding to when you go to the live events, you are required to sign a contract to participate in those events that lay out guidelines and rules and things like that. So very much like in real life racing, there are controls, there are things that are put in place to try to maintain the integrity of all racing. Trying to keep things fair and make sure everybody's playing properly. I will say, for those of you talking about, these guys are athletes. They absolutely are awesome athletes. And here we'll get a little split view going. You can see Justin suffering a little bit. That 185 heart rate. He is up there a little bit. That is a big heart rate. And we'll watch Justin here for a minute. But I'll use myself as an example here. And I'm not sharing this for my own anything that I deserve any kudos for this or anything, but more so you guys can understand that anybody can do this. 10 years ago, I smoked a pack a day and weighed over 200 pounds. I weighed in at the live event at 152 pounds. I've not smoked a cigarette in over 8 years, and I got third place in the last CVR World Cup event, which paid over $7,000 to the winner. And I was third place in that. Second place was a world-class athlete who was second place in the Ironman World Championships just last year. So to go from being 50 pounds overweight, smoking a pack a day, to 8.5 years later, competing with a world-class athlete in a venue on a video game and only placing one spot behind him in the overall results and actually beating him in a race. So for those of you at home that may not be into cycling or are like, oh, these guys are super strong and that, you'd be surprised what might be inside of you if you have some fun. Get on that bike, get pedaling, enjoy yourself. That was the biggest thing that was the key to my transformation, and I know a lot of people here, is doing it in a way that is convenient. It's something that you can maintain long term and that you enjoy doing. So Zwift and CVR World Cup and the teams involved here have provided an environment that you can, if you have a family or you live in a climate that doesn't allow you to get outside and to have the flexibility to be away from home for hours a day to do training, you can set this up in your home. You can set this up when you're a single parent or your spouse is away from the home or something like that. You can still do this at home when your children are home. You don't have to wait to have a sitter or to have someone who can help you with those things so you can go outside and ride. So these are all things that this platform just gives you that flexibility for. It's still awesome to get outside and ride my bike, absolutely, but I would not be able to reach this level without having these types of tools indoors to do it with. So here we go, up the hill again, lap number 4, digging up the hill. Vitor Mateus, we haven't talked about Vitor today. Vitor has done both seasons of the league now, has been consistent being here. I believe he got second or third place in the league last time, and I know he's at near the top of the standings again this time, probably top 5. Vitor hammering off the front here. Got this small group of 20 now off the front. Doesn't look like we're going to have any casualties this time. Yeah, I thought people were using Xbox controllers. There is no way to play this game with just a controller. You must get on your bike, you must sweat, you must suffer, and you must put the effort in to compete. So part of the stats that you'll see up on the screen, if you look at the blue box in the upper left hand portion of the screen, I can explain a little bit of what you see there for those that don't know. The big number in white here that's hovering around 100, 150, 200, sometimes 300, 400, that big white number with a W next to it and a lightning bolt, that is watts. So if you guys are familiar with watts for something like how many watts a light bulb has or how many watts a heater or a toaster has, that is the same unit of measurement as what you see up here. So when they are putting out 200 watts with their legs, they are putting out the same amount of energy that it would take to power 2 100-watt light bulbs. So that is the primary unit of measure that is passed into the game. And guys, we got somebody off the front here. So he has a ton of watts, and he's making toast here off the front. Adam Boyko, one of our key A racers here in the series as well. Adam Boyko for Team ODZ getting off the front here as an A rider, pushing the pace. 2 seconds off the front. We'll watch over his shoulder. You see up here Adam holding around those 300 watts, that unit of measure we were talking about. That is coming from a device on his bike, whether it is a smart trainer or a power meter. But in this sort of racing, they must be on a device that provides a true reading of watts and not an estimation. Underneath those watts, you see a black number 156 with BPM behind it. That is beats per minute. That is Adam's heart rate. Another requirement to race in the league and to be provided results in the league is to wear a heart rate monitor. So Adam is currently beating at 155 beats per minute. The pack has caught him, and there is a counter attack. Here we go. This is team racing, guys. Adam Boyko went off the front. He was somewhat of a sacrificial lamb here. And when his team caught, this was an organized attack. We have got Magnus, Night Train, McQuaid, Kalim. The second they caught that wheel, it was hammer time. So they let somebody else do the work to pull it back, and this is the counter attack. This is where everybody is taking a swing for it. They're having a little fun here for the last race of the season. We've got Peterson trying to bridge this gap. Wagner is letting that go, and Peterson is going to catch. So do we have another counter attack? These guys, you can see ODZ just sitting up here at the front. They won't do the work, but they will sit here second or third wheel. And as soon as they catch, is there another group of them that jumps out of the saddle and goes? You watch the right hand side of the screen, you watch for the orange numbers, and see if anybody reacts. They are still pushing hard at the front. I can see Greg Magnus' avatar up there getting in that sprint position. So it looks like it's all back together again. Big attacks there. Gonna slide back just a little bit to see. There wasn't anybody dropped off the back there, but you can see guys here at the very back of the pack running a 178 heart rate. This definitely put a lot of hurt into some guys, and somebody's up the road again. Wagner, another Team ODZ member. He said, forget you guys, counterattack, and Justin just put the hammer down. And Justin is a lonely man. This is that time in the race. I've been here, Justin, 190 beats per minute. Guys, Justin is a very strong racer. Justin definitely has the capability of taking this away and staying away the entire race. But this is a lonely feeling. Every single move up to this point in the race has been followed by at least 2 or 3 guys. They've stayed together, and Justin makes the big attack, and just nobody responds. Completely on his own. They've got a big chase coming now behind Kalim, +1 S rider here, McQuaid. They're trying to pull it back, and I think they are going to pull it back. But if only Justin had 2 or 3 guys that came with him that can get across this gap. He's established a big gap, but he needs some help. He's got to have a few guys that'll get up here and race with him. So Kalim caught. Looks like McQuaid, the +1 S rider, is going to catch. And then there's a few seconds back to the pack. So can that +1 S rider, can McQuaid get across this gap? Can the 4 of them organize enough to keep that gap away? There's a lot of comments about the crazy heart rate from Wagner. That is a crazy heart rate. Justin does not beat much higher than that. 193, he is absolutely suffering. You can go over here and look. This is a few seconds behind real time. You can see the pain face from Justin. I mean, he is down, head down, focused, just hammering, trying to stay away here. So Justin definitely suffering. And we've got the pack still chasing hard here. I don't know that this is going to stay away. Nobody up at the front here is really willing to go to the front and really hammer away. So looks like we're starting to get a few dropouts here, and we're going to have to go. We're going to have to go use Justin for a little while here so I can get my screen restarted and get back into a first-person view of the race. Thanks for the encouragement over there, Claudia, in that comment. Yeah, we all have our own stories of how we got here. Some people have been cyclists their entire lives. Some people have been athletes their entire lives. But a lot of people, the more you get in the community and the more you talk to people, there are a lot of people out there that are racing at a very high level that have a good story of how they got there, have fought through some adversity, maybe some health issues, and just life in general that got them out of shape, not happy about where they were in cycling. And it doesn't have to be cycling, but for the case in these scenarios, it's been cycling has been a key piece to changing the trajectory of their health, and in not just their physical health, but also a mental health thing too. Definitely burning that energy. All right, guys, we got some big kicks going on now at the front of this pack on this hill, so we're gonna watch it from Justin's point of view, since he is just rolling into the hill. We can watch it. This is lap 5 of 7. When they cross the line here, it will be 2 to go. They are kicking here on the hill. Justin already has 189 heartbeat, and they're going up this hill. So a big heart rate already from Justin, and they are still just putting the punishment on. There's about a 3 or 4 second gap behind Justin, so there's still a good chance of this establishing a little bit of a breakaway and staying away. Justin rolls off the front of the pack here, and they are keeping the pace high at the front. Big speed numbers, big push for these guys, and it looks like they have solidified a little bit of a gap here. So we're gonna go back and watch this a little bit. Here we've got Boyko in that second group, following behind there. It looks like he has been a casualty of these big pushes. We've now got this front group. We've got Wagner, McQuaid, Harper, Heath, CAI for +1S, K-Lim, The Real Deal, and Peterson. This is a small group now, guys. 2, 4, 6, 8 guys up front. We had 20 up here at the start of the last lap. We've got this small chase group of 4 that might get back here with Boyko, another +1S rider. They are pushing hard to get back in here as well. And then 11 seconds back, you can see here, this is the second train. This is a lot of your B riders. Magnus, Tex Divine. Tex Divine should win the B category for the Zone C racing this series. So anybody who wins the B, C, or D category, they will go into the postseason, which is bracket head-to-head racing. There are 8 zones. So there will be 8 racers that typically go into the postseason from each bracket. So the 8B winners will go into those brackets and compete head-to-head for the, let's say, the world title of Category B racers for the series. So a pretty awesome thing that they do there for the postseason. As you can see, these guys, Team ODC, teaming up here and just bringing it home here for the last 2 laps. Here is the front group. We're going to ride along with these guys for a few minutes. Trying to keep it up with the comments. There are a lot of them, so I apologize if I overlooked an important comment or a question here. I'm trying to keep an eye on them and still keep tabs on the racing. We don't want to forget about our ladies here, so let's go side by side for a minute, and you can see the ladies here on the right-hand side of the screen. Still that pack of 4, Terry Cashmore, Gogalp, Reese, and Bing riding together here. I've seen our series winner. Congratulations to Claudia Bering. She is in chat, not racing today, but she is our A zone or our A bracket winner for the ladies racing in Zone C. So she should be getting an invitation to the final. She was at the final in LA as well, so she will be a repeat finalist, I believe. And congratulations to her. Great athlete, great triathlete, and it's great to see that from her. And congratulations to all the racers. I gotta say this to you guys. Doing this league, being a racer, not just somebody who watches the racing but does the racing. I did not finish the league this month or this round. To those that have raced at least 6 races in the league, number one, like, you know, pat yourself on the back. Kudos to you. The commitment that it takes to clear your schedule, to find a time, and to commit to doing this at least 6 times over 8 weeks. It's a lot harder than it sounds. For those of you that have a family, that have work, have other commitments outside of cycling, this is not a simple thing. Oh, just do 6 races. To commit to 6 races at the same time of the same day of the week, out of 8 weeks, in a lot of people's busy schedules, is tough to do. I did it through January and February, and I was shocked at how hard it was. The toll that it took, the alterations it takes in your training plan to be prepared to race. You're trying to plan your training around the racing and making sure you're racing strong. You're fighting with your competitors in the racing. You're making sure that you're planning your days around it. And here we've got a little bit of a kick at the front here. Boyko's going again. So Boyko's going to keep things hot. But kudos to those that have done the races. No matter where you finished, if you have done 6 of the 8 races, you deserve your own little medal, so to speak. Congratulate yourself. Congratulations from me for just making that commitment to do it. It keeps you motivated, but it is definitely a challenge to do, and it's awesome that we've got the participation that we do and that people are jumping in and doing it. If you haven't had a chance to do it, try to make time to do it. It definitely kind of changes your motivation a little bit, and it might be just that change that you need to bring you to that next level in your training and in your racing. So definitely check it out, guys. Happy White Guy, this cannot be played with a controller. We'll give you a quick view here. This is a view of one of the riders in this front pack, Justin Wagner. Every single avatar you see on the screen is someone riding a bike similar to Justin. There is no way to do this with a controller. It has to be on a bike, riding hard. Here we go with just a lap and a half to go. Justin Wagner kicking it at the front again. Kalim on his wheel. Somebody pointed out there was a rider in this group that does not have a heart rate. I haven't actually clicked on a rider, or I haven't noticed any riders here at the front without a heart rate as I've been bouncing around here. But that is one thing that we watch for, especially some of those seasoned cyclists, people that have competed on Zwift for a long time. Knowing that riders without a heart rate can't qualify in the results, we typically will recognize that. If we see that, we will not chase those guys. Happy White Guy. Yeah, it is pretty awesome. Kicking up a hill right now. And actually, let's go over, since some of you guys are asking a lot. We're getting a lot of people asking about, what is this? How do I play this with a controller? We're going to watch Justin as he kicks up this hill. So you can watch his power here, down around 300 watts. But his heart rate is 190, guys. 190. Think about that. 190. Your resting heart rate is somewhere between 45 and 80. He's well over double that, and here he goes. Look at those power numbers: 600, 700 watts, 800, and his heart rate's gonna start climbing here. Look at this kick, look at the face. This guy's got a broken arm. Remember that. If you're just joining, this guy has a broken shoulder. You see he's carrying that one arm a little funny. This guy fell off his bike 2 weeks ago, has to have surgery to fix his arm still. And he's out here with a 190 heart rate. And every one of these guys in the front looks like Justin and is suffering like Justin. So Justin does have tree trunks for legs. What is great about this, what I love about this, is Justin is a big guy. If you don't know Justin, Justin is a fairly tall guy. I wouldn't say that he's a heavy guy, but he's heavier than most high-level cyclists, and that's just because he's got a big frame. He's tall, but the game takes into account your weight. So Justin is able to put out a lot more power than I can, but Justin weighs a little bit more than I do. So when Justin and I race one another, we're very close competitors in the racing, but he can maintain consistently probably 50 watts more than me. But because of our weight and our height difference and the game dynamics of drag and inertia and things like that, we are very competitive against one another. So it's pretty awesome what they've been able to do in the tool, that it's not just a who has the most power contest. It has a lot to do with it, but there are other factors like that. Justin is definitely a very fit guy though, and you can definitely see that when you look at him. If you guys want to check out these first-person views too, go over and check out cycleview.tv. You can see here where I'm pulling that information. You can see we can choose from Justin. We got a, we lost a Keybay. We don't have a Keybay any longer. We've got Cameron Moss. We've got Pat O'Neill suffering here. Cameron here looks like he is riding kind of solo off the back a little bit. Cameron is fighting for a good finish, I believe, in the B category today and for the league. So Cameron has been a consistent racer too, and shout out to him for participating in this. 1 lap to go. 1 lap to go for the men. This is it, guys. Ding, ding, ding. Ring those bells. We are coming down to 1 lap to go. This will be, in my prediction, a sprint finish. But we still have guys that are here trying to make it not a sprint finish. So you never know. I'm getting fooled. They're actually lapping some of the D category riders now. So seeing some people up the road, some people that they're catching up to and getting around. But here we go. 1 lap to go. 1 lap to go. About 3 miles. Tell Justin to stop wearing child's t-shirts. Justin has plenty of children to steal t-shirts from, so he can look like a super big guy in a really tight shirt. Okay, looks like a great way to get fit. What do I need to join this? There is a great website that Zwift has over there, Zwift.com, ZWIFT.com. You can go over there and click on, I believe, how to get started. There's a lot of information over there, but essentially you need a bicycle, you need a trainer, and you need a device either built into your trainer or on your bike that will broadcast power to the computer. This is available on the computer, iOS devices, Apple TV, and Mac are the available platforms for this. So that's kind of the general. That's where you can get some of the information. So these guys are hammering away. Awesome to see this kind of racing today, guys. It's been an exciting race. Ladies are still 4 strong over there. They are about 5 miles behind here, so about a lap and a half behind. So we'll go check this out. Not a lot of ladies racing here. I see that question over there at CycleView from Patrick. No women in this zone. There are a few ladies racing, but none of them are streaming. Remember, there are races every 3 hours throughout the day. This is the final day of the league season. So we should have a lot of people out there. There should be a lot of really strong racing today. A lot of fun racing on a flat course. Going to be some pack racing, some attacks. A lot of fun today. So make sure you jump on here, the Facebook page, Mixer, click those like buttons, click those follow buttons, get the alerts when we go live throughout the day. We are watching Zone C. I know Zone D, Zone E, Zone F, Zone G will all be broadcast today. So tune in here every 3 hours throughout the day, and you will get a broadcast similar to this one covering the races. You will have different commentators throughout the day. Beth York, Chris Haskell, Frank Garcia have been our common broadcasters throughout the season, including and myself. Thank you to each and every one of them for the awesome content that they have brought. I've also had some streams from the guys over at Cycling Hub, Jesper Anchor and Tim Fulford. We always enjoy their style of commentary as well. So we appreciate all those guys that have been a part of the league this season and helped us bring the league out to the masses. And to all the riders that are broadcasting over to the CycleView, it has enhanced the streams so much more to be able to clearly show to those newcomers, especially those newcomers over on Mixer that are picking us up over there. And they say, what is the controller? How do I play this with a controller? We're able to go straight to riders like this, Justin Wagner, and say, we don't use controllers. We're using our legs. We all are going to build up tree trunks like Justin Wagner, and we're going to get on here and we're going to sweat and we're going to race. Foomless Gooner, best comment of the day. Where are all the potholes on the London streets? You know, we keep telling Zwift that they need to do a little more gamification within the game. Maybe that's a feature that they can add. They can add the London potholes and we can flat our tires on those potholes during the race. Here we go, guys. This is the last climb. There is less than 3 kilometers to go and everybody is going orange. This is game on, guys. Game on to the finish. Boyko at the front, destroying it. From here on, it is just suffer and hold on to the finish line. They will keep this pace high all the way to the finish line. Justin's feed is about 30 seconds behind this one, so my goal is to watch the sprint live off of my feed, and then we will go to Justin's live feed and hopefully watch Justin's sprint real time as well. And I believe we should be able to do that. We've been successful doing that in the past. So we are coming up to the end of the race here, guys. If you've got to run, try to stick around for 3 or 4 more minutes and you are going to see a big heads up sprint here between about 10 riders, I believe. And can Justin keep his streak alive? I don't believe he has lost a race yet this season, or at least he has not lost a race to a league competitor. He may have lost it to an outsider, which are people outside of the league are more than welcome to come race here. They do not count in the league standings, but they are definitely welcome to jump into the races and have some fun along with the league racers here. These guys are rolling up here. We have coming up here, this is the 1 kilometer to go banner. This is the time where everybody is getting ready for the sprint. Get a little bit of a side view going here. What's it going to look like? This is the pack. The things you're watching for in a sprint, you're watching for orange numbers, you're watching for that avatar leaning over there. You can see Heath, McQuaid, they're picking it up here, guys. They're going early. Heath is going way early. This is crazy early to go for a sprint. This is not going to work. I'm calling it right now. This is not going to work for Heath. He has got McQuaid on his wheel. They are just leading this out. They are going to get swallowed whole here. Wagner's still sitting there 1 second back, man. Somebody in the back of this pack is going to kick at 13 or 14 watts per kilogram, and they are just going to freight train this group. Right now, you're going to see somebody come. Here comes Wagner. Right here. This is it. Nobody's going to come around this now, I don't believe. Although he did not break the draft on Caleb. Caleb is coming. I think Caleb's going to come around this. Peterson is coming as well. Big kicks from these guys. They are not in the league, but those are some big, big kicks. So here we go, guys. Back to Justin getting ready for that sprint. They're coming. This is just about 20 seconds behind real time. You're going to see the big numbers here. We're going to see over 1,000 watts here. No, not quite. 900, 945. Remember, this guy's got a broken arm, guys. Got that kick. Look at that face. Don't use that arm, Justin. Don't use that arm. 194 beats per minute. Congratulations, Justin Wagner, on his league win. He has taken home the prize from the A bracket for Zone C. Great job, Justin. Kudos to you. Kudos to you for jumping on that bike for the last 2 weeks with a broken arm. If anybody questions how tough some of these guys are, right there, broken arm. Has won 2 races in a row with a broken arm. Congratulations to him. Fantastic work. Ladies are still racing here with 4 together. And I believe they have about 1 lap to go. So you can see, guys, here over at the Cycle View app, these guys are still riding. Cameron Moss, Pat O'Neill finishing up. See if we can catch the end of this race with Pat O'Neill. I think we've got a group of guys with Pat here. Keep an eye on this one. I don't have a first-person view of this, so we're going to watch it from Pat's point of view. We've got Magnus, Tex Divine, Mateus here, Andy Jenner. These guys are riding hard. This may have been a flat race today, which typically is just to sit in and hold on for the end. But those guys spiced it up almost every lap. Getting a little bit of jitters from this feed. Hopefully it pops back up here and is nice and clean. If not, we may not get a good view of that sprint as it sits right now. We've got Cameron Moss, Pat O'Neill. I think Pat's the only one in this group, so we're, oh, there we go, Pat. Is Pat gonna give us a sprint win just at the last second? Oh, Pat's off the front. It's a little blurry. Here comes Tragle around him, and then Andy Jenner, a teammate of his. Looks like it's gonna be Tragle, Jenner, then Nitrain. Nice work. Team ODZ always coming through with the team tactics, working for one another. So back to the ladies race now, guys. We have Reese, Gogout, Bing, and Cashmore together here, coming into, I believe, 1 lap to go for these guys. So we're going to keep here on the ladies and watch them as they go. And I'm going to do a little bit of looking around to see what we can see for the league and what we have already accomplished this morning and what we have left to do. So there are zones A through H, which is a zone is a time that you race. They're spread apart 3 hours throughout the day. We are in zone C. So this has been the 3rd race of the day. This is the 3rd zone to finish for the season. In zone A, Gavin Dempster has taken home the prize in zone A. Congratulations to Gavin. Gavin also did the European E-Crit race and absolutely destroyed that race. Did a great job. So we know Gavin, if Gavin is able to come to the live event, he is going to be a force to be reckoned with there. And look out for him. Remember that name, Gavin Dempster. He's going to be tough, guys. Looks like Lewendorf was 2nd place in zone A. And we'll be going into that postseason. For the B bracket in zone A, it looks like Jeff Rooney is probably the guy there that's going to have those honors. And the other brackets did not have any tight competitions in zone A that I'm seeing. So for the ladies in zone A, there was not a lot of participation there as well. So not much to note there. In zone B, so that's the 2nd race time of the day. This one was a fight a bit amongst some guys that we've seen fight here in the past. Last season, zone B winner and moving on was Matthew Gardenier, who definitely came out to LA and proved himself. This season, it looks like James Phillips is our likely winner there. James has completed 6 races. We don't have results posted for the race yet this morning, but I did spot check those results, and I think Phillips will maintain the lead there and will move on to the final based on my numbers. These are all preliminary, nothing official. I do think Joan Gravdahl and Jeffrey Creel are in a really tight battle to get that postseason spot there, though, so I'm not even going to try to call that race. They are 3 points apart. They raced this morning. Gravdahl beat Creel this morning based on the results that I saw. So they are going to be within 1 or 2 points of one another at the finish of the day, I believe. So I'm going to call that race too close to call until the officials get in the middle of that. But congratulations to those guys. Awesome racing there. Tight battle, as you can tell. We have finished the season, and I'm not gutsy enough to make the call on who won that one. It looks like in the B group there, Michael Richter had about a 9-point lead going into the races today. Probably was able to hold on to that, but I can't say that for sure either. But he was followed pretty closely by Valescu. So between those two guys, one of them got it, but I would bet that that's a Richter moving on to postseason in the B bracket. Jerry Delport looks like he had a pretty good healthy lead in the C bracket. Congratulations to Jerry there. And looks like that is it for Zone B men. Zone B ladies, Beth York. Congratulations to Beth York. I think this is Beth's win here. Like I said, results are not posted for Zone B yet, but based on the lead that Beth had and knowing Beth, congratulations to her. Beth is one of the commentators here like me on this channel, so if you have been following along with any of the races later in the day, she commentates those a lot of the time. either solo or with Frank Garcia and or Chris Haskell. So congratulations to Beth. You have worked hard. You have earned it. Dixie Newsom was in second place there. She will move on to the postseason, assuming that she wasn't caught by Rhiannon Norton. Norton was only 4 points behind Dixie, so that was still a close battle. So it's going to be either Newsom or Norton moving on to the bracket competition from that zone. Looks like we had Marlene. Oh, I can't do these names very well. Marlene Jarhead. I completely butchered that. I'm sorry, Marlene. B bracket winner going on to the postseason for Zone B, Bracket B, ladies. Jennifer Brown would be Bracket C, Zone B winner. And that is it for Zone B. Zone C, the zone that we are in right now for the men. We just watched this finish up. Wagner takes the win there. He will move on with the invitation to the final based on Justin's broken arm and some other factors. I'm not sure if Justin will be able to do the live event, but hope so. But if not, that will move on to another candidate. Looks like second place is going to be between Sadeo Akibe or Jim McQuaid. Akibe came to the live event in LA. Looks like he had a good enough lead here to probably take that postseason spot, second place in the A bracket. And McQuaid looks like him and Mizutani are fighting it out for third place. So tight battle there, too tight to call. Other than I believe Wagner has the clear win, and I think Akibe is pretty clearly in second place there. Great job to those guys. It's been great calling those races. Tex Divine had a pretty healthy lead over Cameron Moss in the B bracket, and I know Tex finished in front of Cameron today. So it looks like that is going to hold true, and Tex will take the win in the B bracket and go into postseason play for B bracket. Jason Flores has the lead in the C bracket and should move on to postseason in the C bracket. And Scott Arista and Thomas Ringborn are fighting it out for D bracket honors right now. And we actually have Arista out on course riding. And I'm trying to see if Ringborn is out there. Ringborn is out there. And I think he is sitting on Scott's wheel. So this may come down to the finish of the race here. What is the points gap here? Scott has a 7-point lead over Thomas. So there can be a couple of places between them, 1 or 2 places between them, and Scott will maintain this lead based on the points that I'm looking at now. So guys, go over and give Scott a ride on. It looks like he has about 3 kilometers to go. He's in a similar location as the ladies are here. Let's go a little bit of 3-screen here and see if we can check this out. This is Scott on the left-hand side of the screen. We got the ladies on the bottom right. The top right is just random riders there. We don't have to pay that much attention there. But you can see Scott here. A very similar place on screen to the ladies right now, just a little bit further behind them. And I believe he is battling for that final spot in the D bracket. So we're going to watch Scott finish here as well as the ladies, but we'll focus on the ladies until they finish, and then we'll drop back to Scott as he is just about maybe a half mile behind them on the road. We'll cheer Scott into the finish line, and then we will call it quits for the season on the C zone. Remember to come back and join us in a week or two. We will start postseason. If you want updates on what those postseason brackets are going to look like, if you want official brackets, official times for the races, and that information, make sure that you are going over and following the CVR World Cup Facebook page. Get all kinds of information over there. Make sure that you like and follow us over at the Mixer channel. Get those push notifications when we go live. You can come watch the racing. And remember, this isn't the end of racing today. This is just the end of racing for Zone C for today. We will be back here every 3 hours. The next race starts in 1 hour and 45 minutes, and after that, it's every 3 hours a new race starts. The races usually take about an hour to run, a little over an hour for some of these, and So there's about a 2-hour downtime between the races throughout the day. So when you're sitting at your desk doing your work, pull up that mobile device, see if you can sneak that phone on and watch us a little bit. Here we go. Bing doing a little jump at the front. Didn't go anywhere, but she's still holding 6. Somebody's going to have to chase this. Who's going to chase Bing off the front? Joan Grabdoll says we don't have a clue. I think as I was reading through that, Joan is watching, and I said, I'm not sure who won, Grabdoll or Creel, and who's got the bracket, and even they don't know. Thanks guys for tuning in. Thanks for the encouraging words over there. Dr. Chris Haskell is up early today, cheering me on. Dr. Chris is probably at a busy time over there, finishing up a semester at school, and big broadcasts, and probably looking forward to his summer. Stay tuned in here to CVR World Cup. You're going to get a lot of Chris Haskell throughout the day. We appreciate the doctor getting up early and joining in over there. Lean Right says, I will be buying my stuff soon. Yes, we have hooked another one. Guys, if you want to get in shape, if you want to ride in the comfort of your home and stay safe, go check out Zwift. Get into the leagues, check out the training programs. Definitely start getting into it. It can be a life changer if you really enjoy it. Bing here off the front now by 5 seconds. There is not a significant chase. I think Bing is going to take this one pretty comfortably off the front. You can see that finish line is in sight, and this group is not chasing. So it's going to come down to Bing is going to take it off the front, but she is not in the league where Cashmore, Goldgalp, and Reese are all league contenders here. So we will see who is going to take the sprint for this one. They are hammering here, and it looks like Reese is going to roll across the line. She is. Reese, Goldgalp, and then Cashmore. So nice finish, ladies. We appreciate you guys putting in the time and effort and coming out here and racing every week. I am moving a few screens around here so we can watch. We want to make sure that we watch Scott here. Scott has been a faithful streamer for us throughout the season. We really appreciate that. Scott, I believe, is going to win the D bracket here and go on to the postseason for the D bracket. Scott there always brings us a great stream. Working hard, never gives up. He has 1.5 kilometers to go on his season, and that should earn him a spot into the postseason. So while we watch Scott finish here, I'm going to try to update a little bit on the ladies' Zone C finishes there and give you an idea of what that looks like for the overall. Claudia Baring, congratulations to Claudia. She is very clearly the A bracket winner, very deserving winner. Excellent job there. The race we just saw finish actually were all B bracket riders. Cashmore, Goldgalp, and Reese were competing for that B bracket, but Cashmore had done the most races. Goldgalp and Reese had not completed an entire season there, so Cashmore will take the win in the B bracket based on just number of races. Points per race, Goldgalp and Cashmore were very close in that battle, but Goldgalp had some unfortunate circumstances that kept her from racing in all of the races, so she comes up one race short of being a true competitor to Cashmore. But they were here very often, and we appreciate them digging in and racing with us and coming back for more every week. And those were the primary competitions in the C zone today. Coming up in the D brackets throughout the day. And here goes Scott getting up out of the saddle, gonna finish strong for us. There you go, Scott. Let's see some big numbers. Let's cheer Scott home, guys. This is the D bracket for the men. We actually have a competition here between Ringborn and Urista. Scott is pretty safe to win the zone here because he needs 2 or 3 guys between him and Ringborn for Ringborn to catch. But let's not give up. Let's go for the win today, Scott. There you go. Get out of the saddle. Let's kick it. Get down in those drops. Can Scott push around him? Oh, he's got a slingshot. It's going to be close. Can he get around him? Oh, I don't know. I don't think he quite got there, but that was like a half a wheel. And look at the suffer. Head down, over the handlebars. Well done, Scott. That was a killer finish. So close. So, appreciate everybody who's come out, guys, and participated. It looks like in Zone D, Scott Christensen is kind of the runaway there, but we have got a tight battle for second. Plujmers, Val Jason, Kopse, those guys are going to be fighting strong. Got a tight battle going on throughout all the upcoming zones, guys. Come back in a couple of hours. Make sure you get an eye on that. Lucy Collins, Ina Ketzer, Esther Meisels are all popular names in the female race coming up in Zone D. Guys, come back, check it out. It's been a great day. Appreciate all of the Zone C racers. Like I said to you guys a little bit ago, anybody that came out and raced 6 races this season, thank you. Thank you very much. It is a tough thing to do, win or lose. It is a big, big task to put that on your schedule, to commit to it every week. So we at CVR, we appreciate that. We thank you for participating and being a part of the league. Moving on to postseason. Postseason is fun. Postseason is head-to-head racing, beating on one another, one guy or one lady versus another. Who cares who wins the race as long as I beat that one other person? So bring your friends, bring your neighbors, bring your dog. Whoever can pedal a bike and help you in a race, bring them out and fight in those head-to-head races. It's a lot of fun. So this is the end of Zone C, guys. Thank you for joining me, and we will be back for the postseason in a couple of weeks. Until then, make sure you stay tuned, follow and like the pages here. Go check out CVRWorldCup.com website and check out CVR World Cup on Facebook. Make sure you're following along with all the news and the things coming up. Got some awesome things. And remember, keep an eye on June 23rd and 24th, Perry Jerome Sports Center, Vancouver, British Columbia. That is the next live final. The guys who win here, the ladies who win here will be invited there to compete head to head. 10 men, 10 women fighting it out. So we'll see you guys next time, and thanks for a great season.